Welcome back to Wittenberg Academy's Elementary Latin 2 course. We are ready for Chapter 3 in our book, Minimus Secundus. And we'll begin on page 21, looking over the vocabulary for this part of the lesson. I'll read it, please repeat it, and then of course you'll need to make your vocabulary flashcards so that you can begin to learn these words. Nouns. Fossum. Fossum is a ditch. Meritus. Meritus is a husband. Plaustrum. Plaustrum, that's a wagon. Mihi. Mihi means for me. Tibi. Tibi means for you in the singular. Nobis. Nobis means for us. Vobis. Vobis means for you or for y'all, you plural. A few adverbs. Iterum. Iterum means again. Lente. Lente means slowly. Tandem. Tandem means at last. And a whole bunch of verbs. Accipiunt. Accipiunt, they welcome. Adiuvate. Adiuvate means help. Advenient. Advenient means they arrive. Advesperascit. Advesperascit. It is becoming dark. Caueta. Caueta is be careful or be on guard. Decadit. Decadit. It falls down. Difficula est. Difficula est. It is difficult. Intracte. Intracte means to come. It means come in. A command. Come in. Necessa est. Necessa est. It is necessary. Pluit. Pluit. It is raining. Sedet. Sedet. He sits or it sits. Tonat. Tonat. It thunders. Some infinitives. Cantare. Cantare is to sing, as in a cantata. Descindere. Descindere, to climb down. Propellera. Propellera is to push. And some adjectives. Expectatissimus. Expectatissimus is very welcome. And you can see there, of course, adjectives can have masculine, feminine, or neuter endings. So it can be expectatissimus, expectatissima, or expectatissimum, depending on the noun that it is modifying. Limosus. Limosus means muddy. Lubricus. Lubricus means slippery. Perteritus. Perteritus means frightened. Tacitus. Tacitus means silent. And one preposition, a, means from. All right, let's look at our story. A difficult journey. The family have finished packing their belongings. They set off on their journey in a covered wagon. Flavius rides in front, and he has armed soldiers with him to protect his family. All right, so let's read this. Tota familia tacita sedet. Tota familia tacita sedet. So the verb here, verbs in Latin usually come at the end. The verb is sedet. He, she, or it sits. Who's doing the sitting? The familia. And what kind of familia? Tota familia tacita. The whole family sits, tacita, silent. The whole silent family sits. Iterum pluit. Iterum pluit. Again, it rains. Via limosa est. Via limosa est. The verb is est, is, and the noun there, via, the road. The road is limosa. The road is muddy. Plaustrum lente procedit. Plaustrum lente procedit. The verb is procedit. Again, the verb usually occurs at the end of the sentence. Procedit means he, she, or it goes forward or proceeds. Plaustrum lente procedit. The wagon goes forward slowly. And then what does Flavius say? Caueta periculosum est. Via lubrica est. Caueta Periculosum est via lubrica est. So caueta means be careful. Periculosum est is it is dangerous. Via lubrica est. This time the road is lubrica, slippery. The road is slippery. And everybody says, whoa! Subito plaustrum in fossum decedit. Subito plaustrum in fossum decedit. Subito is an adverb. It means suddenly. Where's the verb? Decedit at the end of the sentence. It falls. What falls? Plaustrum. The wagon falls. Where does it fall? In fossum, in the ditch. Now, Flavia says, Necessa est vobis a plaustro descindera. Necessa est vobis a plaustro descindera. Necessa est, it is necessary. Vobis, it is necessary for you, descindera, to descend or to get out of a plaustro, from the wagon. It is necessary for you to get out of the wagon. Tota familia descendit. Tota familia descendit. The whole family descends. The whole family gets out. Difficula est mihi plaustrum propala, candida Corintha adiuate. Difficula est mihi plaustrum propellera, candida Corintha adiuate. Difficula est, it is difficult, mihi, for me. It is difficult for me, propellera, to push plaustrum, the wagon. Candida, or Candidus and Corinthus adiuate, help. Phew. Oiga, phew. Tandem plaustrum in via est. Tandem plaustrum in via est. Tandem, another adverb, means at last. Plaustrum, the wagon in via est, is on the road. At last, the wagon is on the road. Familia in plaustrum iterum ascendit. Familia in plaustrum iterum ascendit. The family into the wagon, iterum, again, ascends, climbs in. So again, the verb is usually at the end. We would say the family climbed into the wagon at last. But they say the family into the wagon at last climbs in. Panel 8, nunc tonat. Nunc tonat. Now it thunders. Rufus perterritus est. Rufus perterritus est. Rufus is perterritus, terrified. Necessa est mihi cantare. Necessa est mihi cantare. It is necessary, mihi, for me, cantare, to sing. Ad vesperascit. Ad vesperascit. It grows toward evening. Tandem cataractonium advenient. Tandem cataractonium advenient. At last, where's the verb at the end? They come to cataractonius, or cataractonium. And then what do the folks there say? Intrate expectatissima estis. Intrate expectatissimus estis. Come in, you all are most welcome. Flavia et Meritus nomine Gaius familiam accipiunt. Flavia et Meritus nomine Gaius familiam accipiunt. So Flavia and her husband, by the name of Gaius, nomine Gaius, by the name of Gaius, familiam accipiunt, accept, receive, welcome the family. You can see the word accept there in English, but welcomes the family. All right, very good. So they made it there. Now let's take a look at page 22 about the grammar. Remember that a verb is an action word. In this story, you have met some new verb endings. Look at cantare. It means to sing. We call this form of the verb the infinitive. Have another look at pictures 5 and 6. Try to find two more infinitives. What does each one mean? So in panels 5 and 6, in panel 5 you can say descindera. Necessa est vobis a plastro descindera, to descend. And in panel 6 you can see propellera. Difficula est mihi plaustrum propellera. It is difficult for me to push the wagon. Remember, the infinitive usually ends in re, and the translation begins to run, to eat, and so forth. We also met some verbs like pluit, which means it is raining. When the subject of a verb is it, we call it an impersonal verb. Look at pictures 1, 5, 6, 8, and 9. Try to find 6 uses of impersonal verbs. So you can see that, iterum pluit, it rains. In panel 5, necessa est, it is necessary. Those are all those impersonal verbs. Now translate the following sentences. When you've translated them, write down in Latin all the impersonal verbs and all the infinitives that you can find. Again, some have been used more than once. So you can work through this on your own if you like. You can pause the tape here and try to work out, we'll say, circle an impersonal verb and underline an infinitive in these sentences and see if you can work out their translations. And then when you've had a crack at it, you can start the tape again and I'll go through the answers. All right, so on page 22, number 1, in Britannia semper pluit. In Britain, it always rains. So pluit there is an impersonal verb. In Britain, it always rains. Vibrissa dicit iterum pluit, necessa est mihi currere. Vibrissa dicit iterum pluit, necessa est mihi currere. So Vibrissa says, again, it rains. There's an impersonal verb. Necessa est, it is necessary. That's an impersonal verb. Currere, to run. That is a infinitive. Number 3, Vibrissa dicit difficula est mihi currere quod obesa sum. Vibrissa dicit difficula est mihi currere quod obesa sum. Vibrissa says, it's difficult for me to run because I am fat. I am obese. Difficula est, again, is an impersonal, and currere, again, is an infinitive. Lepidina dicit rufa ad vesperascit, necessa est tibi dormire. Lepidina says rufus, it grows toward evening. Necessa est, impersonal verb. It is necessary for you to sleep. There's your infinitive, dormire. Number 5. Rufus dicit sed difficula est mihi dormire quod facis non sum. Rufus says, but it is difficult for me. Difficula est, impersonal verb. Dormire, to sleep, infinitive, because I am not tired. Facis non sum. Lepidina dicit ad vesperascit, necessa est nobis festinare. Lepidina says, it grows toward evening, necessa est, it is necessary, impersonal verb, for us to hasten, festinare, to hasten, an infinitive. Flavius dicit sed difficula est nobis festinare quod via lubrica est. Flavius says, but it's difficult for us. It is difficult, impersonal verb, festinare, infinitive. It is difficult for us to hasten because the road is slippery. 8. Rufus dicit iterum tonat praeteritus sum. Rufus dicit iterum tonat. Iterum tonat, again, it thunders. That's your impersonal verb. No infinitive in that sentence. Number 9. Pandora dicit rufa noli temera, necessa est mihi cantare. Rufus, do not be afraid. Literally, noli temera means do not wish to be afraid. So that to be, temera, that's the infinitive. Don't be afraid. Necessa est, there's your impersonal. It is necessary for me, cantare, to sing. To sing is an infinitive. And 10, Rufus dicit nunc non tonat oiga. Rufus says, now it's not thundering. Hooray. Non tonat, there's your impersonal verb. All right, how do they feel? The family set off on their journey. They sit in silence. Try to imagine what each of them feels as they move to their new home in Eboracum. Describe the feelings of each person, Flavius, Rufus, etc. And you can use the different words if you like. So you can say, for example, Lepidina est laeta. Laeta est. Lepidina laeta est. She's happy. Rufus praeteritus est. He is frightened. What other adjectives do you have today? Will muddy. I don't know if muddy is quite the adjective we want to use for the people. Maybe after they've been in the road a while, they're muddy or silent. But that's how it works. The noun, then the adjective that agrees with it, then the verb to be. Like lepidina perterrita est. Lepidina is terrified. Right, on page 23, use your knowledge of Latin to explain the underlined word in each sentence. There's something wrong with my car engine. I think it needs some lubricating oil, slippery oil. What does a propeller do? It pushes a boat. What's a cantata? People sing. What's a sedentary job? One where you set it all day, where you sit all day. Very good. And you can read there the Roman report about how they built roads. A very interesting little information there. That does it for the first part of Chapter 3. You need to study those vocabulary words. Make sure you get your vocabulary cards made. And this is, we're getting into a little more complicated lessons now. It may benefit you, if you like, to go back and watch the video again and try those translations until they really click and make sense. Next time, the second half of Chapter 3.